Matthew, chapter 26. And it came to be when Yeshua ended all these words, he said to his taught ones, "You know that after 2 days the Pesach takes place, and the Son of Adam is to be delivered up to be impaled." Then the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people came together at the court of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas. And they plotted to seize Yeshua by trickery and kill him. But they said, "Not at the festival, lest there be an uproar among the people." And when Yeshua was in Bethania at the house of Shimon the leper, a woman came to him, having an alabaster flask of costly perfume, and she poured it on his head as he sat at the table. And when his taught ones saw it, they were much displeased, saying, "To what purpose is this waste? For this perfume could have been sold for much and given to the poor." However, when Yeshua noticed it, he said to them, "Why do you trouble the woman? For she has done a good work toward me. For you always have the poor with you, but me you do not have always. For in pouring this perfume on my body, she did it for my burial. Truly I say to you, wherever this good news is proclaimed in all the world, what this woman has done shall be spoken of also to her remembrance." Then one of the 12, called Yehuda from Kerioth, went to the chief priests and said, "What will you give me to deliver him to you?" And they counted out to him 30 pieces of silver. And from then on he was seeking an occasion to deliver him up. And on the first day of unleavened bread, the taught ones came to Yeshua, saying to him, "Where do you wish us to prepare for you to eat the Pesach?" He said to them, "Go to the city to a certain man and say to him, the teacher says, my time is near. I am to perform the Pesach at your house with my taught ones." And the taught ones did as Yeshua had ordered them and prepared the Pesach. And when evening came, he sat down with the 12. And while they were eating, he said, "Truly I say to you, one of you shall deliver me up." And they were deeply grieved and began to say to him, each of them, "Master, is it I?" And he answering said, "He who has dipped his hand with me in the dish, he shall deliver me up. Indeed, the Son of Adam goes as it has been written concerning him, but woe to that man by whom the Son of Adam is delivered up. It would have been good for that man if he had not been born." And Yehuda, he who delivered him up, answering, said, "Rabbi, is it I?" Yeshua said to him, "You have said it." And as they were eating, Yeshua took bread, and having blessed it, broke and gave it to the taught ones and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." And taking the cup and giving thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "Drink from it, all of you, for this is my blood, that of the renewed covenant, which is shed for many for the forgiveness of sins. But I say to you, I shall certainly not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on, till that day when I drink it anew with you in the reign of my Father." And having sung a song, they went out to the Mount of Olives. Then Yeshua said to them, "All of you shall stumble in me this night. For it's been written, I shall strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered. But after I've been raised, I shall go before you into Galilee." And Kepha answering said to him, "Even if all stumble in you, I shall never stumble." Yeshua said to him, "Truly I say to you, this night, before the cock crows, you shall deny me 3 times. Kepha said to him, "Even if I have to die with you, I shall not deny you." All the taught ones said the same too. Then Yeshua came with them to a place called Gethsemane and said to the taught ones, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." And he took with him Kepha and the two sons of Zabdi, and he began to be grieved and deeply distressed. He said to them, "My being is exceedingly grieved, even to death. Stay here and watch with me." And going forward a little, he fell on his face and prayed, saying, "Oh, my Father, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not as I desire, but as you desire." And he came to the taught ones and found them asleep, and said to Kepha, "Were you not able to watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, lest you enter into trial. The spirit is eager, but the flesh is weak." Again he went away a second time and prayed, "Oh, my Father, if it is impossible for this to pass unless I drink it, let your desire be done." And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them, went away again, and prayed a third time, saying the same words. Then he came to his taught ones and said to them, "Still sleeping and taking rest? See, the hour has come near, and the Son of Adam is delivered up into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. See, he who delivers me up has come near." And while he was still speaking, Yehuda, one of the 12, with a large crowd with swords and clubs, came from the chief priests and elders of the people. And he who was delivering him up gave them a sign, saying, "Whomever I kiss, it is he, seize him." And going straight up to Yeshua, he said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. And Yeshua said to him, "Friend, why have you come?" Then they came and laid hands on Yeshua and seized him. And look, one of those with Yeshua put out his hand and drew his sword, and striking the servant of the high priest, he cut off his ear. Then Yeshua said to him, "Return your sword to its place, for all who take the sword shall die by the sword. Or do you think that I'm not able to pray to my Father now, and he shall provide me with more than 12 legions of messengers? How then would the scriptures be filled if it had to happen that way?" In that hour, Yeshua said to the crowds, "Have you come out against a robber with swords and clubs to arrest me? I sat with you daily, teaching in the set-apart place, and you did not seize me. But all this came to be so that the scriptures of the prophets might be filled." Then all the taught ones left him and fled. And those who had seized Yeshua led him away to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were gathered together. But Kepha followed him at a distance to the courtyard of the high priest, and he went in and sat with the servants to see the end. And the chief priests and the elders and all the council were seeking false witnesses against Yeshua to put him to death, but found none. Although many false witnesses came forward, they found none. But the last 2 false witnesses came forward and said, "This one said, I'm able to destroy the dwelling place of Elohim and to build it in 3 days." And the high priest stood up and said to him, "Have you no answer to make? What do these witness against you?" But Yeshua remained silent. So the high priest said to him, "I put you to oath by the living Elohim that you say to us, if you are the Messiah, the Son of Elohim." Yeshua said to him, "You have said it. Besides, I say to you from now on, you shall see the Son of Adam sitting at the right hand of the power and coming on the clouds of the heaven. Then the high priest tore his garment, saying, "He has blasphemed. Why do we need any more witnesses? See, now you've heard his blasphemy. What do you think?" And they answering said, "He is liable to death." And they spat in his face and beat him, and others slapped him, saying, "Prophesy to us, Messiah, who's the one who struck you?" And Kepha sat outside in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him, saying, "And you were with Yeshua of Galilee." But he denied it before them all, saying, "I do not know what you say." And as he was going out into the porch, another girl saw him and said to those there, "Oh, and this one was with Yeshua of Nazareth." But again he denied with an oath, "I do not know the man." And after a while, those who stood by came to him and said to Kepha, "Truly, you're one of them too, for even your speech gives you away." Then he began to curse and to swear, saying, "I do not know the man." And immediately a cock crowed. And Kepha remembered the word of Yeshua, who had said to him, "Before a cock crows, you shall deny me 3 times." And going out, he wept bitterly. Mark chapter 14. Now, the Pesach and the festival of Matzot was after 2 days, and the chief priests and the scribes were seeking how to take him through treachery and put him to death. And they said, "Not at the festival, lest there be an uproar of the people." And while he was in Bethania in the house of Shimon the leper, sitting at the table, a woman came having an alabaster flask of perfume, genuine nard, very costly. And breaking the flask, she poured it on his head. But there were some who were much displeased among themselves and said, "Why was this perfume wasted? It could have been sold for more than 300 denarii and given to the poor." And they were scolding her. But Yeshua said, "Leave her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has done a good work for me. For you have the poor with you always, and you're able to do good to them whenever you wish. But you do not always have me." What she had, she used. She took it beforehand to anoint my body for the burial. Truly I say to you, wherever this good news is proclaimed in all the world, what this woman did shall also be spoken of to her remembrance. And Yehuda from Carioth, one of the 12, went to the chief priests to deliver him up to them. And when they heard it, they were glad and promised to give him silver. And he was seeking how to deliver him up conveniently. And on the first day of unleavened bread, when they were slaughtering the Pesach lamb, his taught ones said to him, "Where do you wish us to go and prepare for you to eat the Pesach?" And he sent out 2 of his taught ones and said to them, "Go into the city, and there's a man bearing a jar of water, and he shall meet you. Follow him. And wherever he enters, say to the master of the house, 'The teacher says, where is the guest room in which I am to eat the Pesach with my taught ones?' And he shall show you a large upper room, furnished, ready. Prepare for us there." And his taught ones went out, came into the city, and found it as he said to them, and they prepared the Pesach. And evening having come, he came with the 12, and as they sat and ate, Yeshua said, "Truly I say to you, one of you who's eating with me shall deliver me up." And they began to be grieved and said to him one by one, "Is it I?" And another, "Is it I?" And he answering said to them, "It is one of the 12. he who is dipping with me in the dish. The Son of Adam is indeed going, as it has been written of him. But woe to the man by whom the Son of Adam is delivered up. It would have been better for that man if he had not been born. And as they were eating, Yeshua took bread, having blessed, broke it, and gave it to them and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." And taking the cup, giving thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank from it. And he said to them, "This is my blood, that of the renewed covenant, which is shed for many. Truly I say to you, I shall certainly no more drink of the fruit of the vine till that day when I drink it anew in the reign of Elohim." And having sung a song, they went to the Mount of Olives. And Yeshua said to them, "All of you shall stumble in me this night, for it has been written, I shall strike the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. But after I'm raised, I shall go before you to Galilee." And Kepha said to him, "Even if all shall stumble, yet not I." And Yeshua said to him, "Truly I say to you that today, this night, before the cock crows twice, you shall deny me 3 times. But he spoke more strongly, "If I have to die with you, I shall not deny you." And they all said the same. And they came to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his taught ones, "Sit here while I pray." And he took with him Kepha and Yaakov and Johanan, and he began to be greatly amazed and to be deeply distressed. And he said to them, "My being is exceedingly grieved even to death. Stay here and watch." And he went on a little and fell on the ground and was praying that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, "Abba, Father, all is possible for you. Make this cup pass from me. Yet not what I desire, but what you desire." And he came and found them sleeping and said to Kepha, "Shimon, are you sleeping? You were not able to watch 1 hour? Watch and pray, lest you enter into trial. The spirit is indeed eager, but the flesh is weak." And again he went away and prayed and spoke the same words. And having returned, he found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. They did not know what to answer him. And he came the 3rd time and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? It is enough. The hour has come. See, the Son of Adam is being delivered up into the hands of sinners. Rise up, let us go. See, he who is delivering me up has drawn near." And immediately while he was still speaking, Yehuda, one of the 12, with a large crowd with swords and clubs, came from the chief priests and the scribes and the elders. And the one who was delivering him up had given them a signal, saying, "Whomever I kiss, it is he. Seize him and lead him away safely." And going straight up to him, he said to him, "Rabbi, Rabbi," and kissed him. And they laid their hands on him and seized him. And one of those standing by drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. And Yeshua answering said to them, "Have you come out against me as a robber with swords and clubs to take me? Daily I was with you in the set-apart place teaching, and you did not seize me there. But let the scriptures be filled." And they all left him and fled. And a certain young man was following him, having a linen cloth thrown around his naked body. And when they seized him, he left the linen cloth and fled from them naked. And they led Yeshua away to the high priest, and all the chief priests and the elders and the scribes came together to him. Kepha followed at a distance, even into the courtyard of the high priest, and was sitting with the officers and warming himself at the fire. And the chief priests and all the council were seeking witness against Yeshua to put him to death, and they were finding none. For many bore false witness against him, but their evidences did not agree. Then some rose up and bore false witness against him, saying, "We heard him saying, 'I shall destroy this dwelling place that is made with hands. And within 3 days I shall build another made without hands.' And not even then did their witnesses agree. Then the high priest stood up in the center and asked Yeshua, saying, "Have you no answer to make? What do these witness against you?" But he remained silent and gave no answer. Again the high priest asked him, saying to him, "Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed?" Then Yeshua said, "I am. And you shall see the Son of Adam sitting at the right hand of the power and coming with the clouds of the heaven." And tearing his garments, the high priest said, "What further need do we have of witnesses? You've heard the blasphemy. What do you think?" And they all condemned him to be liable to death, and some began to spit on him, and to blindfold him, and to beat him, and to say to him, "Prophesy." And the officers struck him with the palms of their hands. And as Kepha was below in the courtyard, one of the servant girls of the high priest came, and seeing Kepha warming himself, she looked at him and said, "And you were with Yeshua of Nazareth." But he denied it, saying, "I do not know nor understand what you're saying." And he went out onto the porch, and a cock crowed. And the servant girl saw him again, and began to say to those who stood by, "This is one of them." And again he was denying it. And after a little while, those who stood by again said to Kepha, "Truly, you're one of them, for you're a Galilean too, and your speech is alike." And he began to curse and swear, "I do not know this man of whom you speak." And a second time the cock crowed, and Kepha remembered the word that Yeshua said to him, "Before the cock crows twice, you shall deny me 3 times." And thinking on it, he wept.